What up, people? It's your boy, Master Chudy, out here with another Final Space review. So, we go into season 3, episode 12, man. And a lot has happened. But first and foremost, let's get into one thing clear. This episode was supposed to have aired an hour ago, about so, as I'm saying this at 12:30. But it didn't, because Toonami was still on, in case you're wondering. And we find out that, and this might confuse you, but the creators basically said that, hey, this is going to be on Sunday, 12:30 a.m. You would think that, but apparently it'll actually be Monday at 12:30 a.m. A little typo on the, or I guess miscommunication on the creator's part. But I happened to manage to watch this episode because, interestingly enough, I have Sling, and it was pre-recorded. Or recorded, not pre-recorded, but recorded. I think it might be a one-time thing, but I managed to get a hold of the episode. And so I watched it. And as I say, things have ramped up. The plot the plot of this episode is fairly simple. Well, the first half of it. They get in, they charge the trans-dimensional bridge because they find it quite quickly, actually. And we learn a lot of interesting things that ties, remember season 1? Well, we get a little bit of remembrance on that. When the crew finally finds the transdimensional bridge, it's lacking power and everything like that, so it needs to be charged. So each team has to go in and basically go in and go to 3 different ports and charge it. And so they find the 3 ports, and then of course Mooncake gets the charge. But what's interesting is that we find out that Gary knows the machinery of this bridge. Of this bridge, he recognizes it. Why? Because when he was, on a prison sentence for 5 years, as repairing what he thought were satellites, Hugh basically deduces that, hey, you were probably doing work on a prototype of this transdimensional bridge, which begs the question. This is outside of final space, this transdimensional bridge. So it's curious as to who created it and why. And why. Obviously Kevin Van Newton was part of it, but to have that technology open, did he want to eventually go to final space? Or is this probably, something of ease that maybe the Guardians wanted to create to aid Lord Commander instead of, using Mooncake to rip open final space? Who knows? But it so happens that that's the thing. So they begin to charge it, and it's beginning to charge, so they begin to wait. And so we get a lot of character, interactions that you wouldn't expect. Obviously, they split up into 3 teams. Before I get into that, they split up into 3 teams for the charging. We have Avocato and Ash. We have Cheryl and Kevin, and we of course have Lil Kato, Quinn, and Gary, of course. And I have an idea of why Gary decided to split Lil Kato away from his father. Because as of now, Lil Kato has not been teaming up with his father on certain things, as you well know. But, we get good character interactions after they, start waiting for the charging. I forgot to mention, of course, that Biscuit takes a very proactive, he's on it, man. He's infectious, he's cool, and everything that you would want him to finally be after, he spent a good third of this season out of the picture. But, everybody wants to celebrate getting out of final space. So Ash and Gary want to make sweet love. They want to make sweet love, of course, because, of course, sorry, Quinn and Gary, not Ash. Ooh, no. Quinn and Gary want to make sweet love. But Quinn also says this because, hey, you could die. So of course they begin to make, they begin, of course, but little Kato's in the bedroom, and he's like, oh hey, whatnot. But like adults, they tell him to go, and they do their business. And of course, Gary sends him to, hey, go see Cheryl. So he and Cheryl have a very interesting conversation. Cheryl's been interacting with a lot of the season two season two crewmates, season one crewmates in this case, a little bit more frequently. And so she and Avocato, have a conversation. And he tells her like, hey, she asks what's the deal with the two dads thing, and then she's like, oh no, Gary adopted me, as we all know, when Avocado was out of commission. But you know, Lil Cato's like, well, yeah, because but Avocado's my real father, and Shell asks an innocent question, what about your mother? And Lil Cato's like, I don't know, I've never met her, and he doesn't like talking about her. And he asks Shell, do you think I should ask my dad about him? And she's like saying, yeah, you should. So we see that Biscuit's been working on Hugh's old body, which is of course going to have a payoff. But Ash and Avocado are chilling. Avocado's very anxious to get out of final space. He's waiting for the thing to charge up. So Little Avocado comes in and he says, "Hey, um, what's up?" And he just asks about his mother. How'd she die? And he's like, "Oh." And he says that it's like he asks how his mother, how how was his mother like, or what was her name, just something. And he gives apricot. And Ash is there. She thinks it's cute, and Okado is happy, and he's like, "Well, what happened? How'd she die?" And you just said, childbirth, which is what we all initially thought before the truth was revealed. But little Kato, bless his heart, man, he hugs him, saying that I'm so sorry you had to go through all this alone, but I just want to let you know I'm here and everything like that. So Ash and Quinn come in, and there's a little funny thing. Their hair is all out of whack because they just had a session, and Biscuit is so oblivious. But they find out that the thing is getting ready to charge up. And before this, Ash begins to warm up to Quinn a bit, saying that, "Hey, I'm sorry I was against you, but you did good," which is I don't know whether Ash has earned the right to have that, but then again, she is the most powerful member of the team, so hey, that has to count for something. But Quinn appreciates that, and so basically they're all waiting for this thing to charge, so it hits 100%. All is good, you think, but it turns out that the thing is overcharging. It sees 101, 103, and then they're looking at Biscuit saying, what's happening? Oh, it's like the portal is charging. Everything is charging. You know, it's overcharging, and unfortunately, the bridge short circuits out and overcharges. And it doesn't look like there's any hope left. And that's got to make Quinn feel extra bad because, yeah, probably should have left final space when you had the chance. I can't believe that I can't believe that you let Tribor one up you. I'm just joking, but it's looking like that. And so the whole crew is they're just despair. Like Cheryl was hoping to leave too, but hey, it looks like she's accepted her death. Lil Kato is bummed out, and Quinn is like begging them, and Avocado's out, well still there. He's down, and Gary's trying to be supportive, but Quinn is like begging them. It's like saying, "Please, like there's still hope. We can still try something." And Ash says like, "Nah, bro, it's done. Thanks for nothing." So you know, Avocado decides to talk to Gary privately, and he's like saying, "It's like we're gonna die here, and I'm with my son. I thought we could leave. I thought I could, because pretty much Avocado's like saying, oh, if we can leave." If we can leave final space, then death would not be on my door. I wouldn't be pressured to tell my son the truth about his actual family, and I could continue this line. He's like saying, Avocado is saying, he tells Gay that, hey, it's like it's like there's no easy way for me to do this. Like I told him a lie about his mother, like I've always done. And it's like saying, And Gary is talking with her. It's like, hey, we can just find the right time. And then just so happens Ash is walking by the hallway. And that's when Avocado says that I killed Little Kyle's parents. There's no right time to admit that. And then, of course, as he's about to leave, Ash confronts him, saying that, "Did you kill his parents? Did you tell him?" It's like, are you telling the truth? Did you kill his parents?" And so, Gary's like saying, "Whoa, whoa, Ash, calm down." But she's like, "Nah." It's like, "Did you kill him?" And then he like said, "Yes, I did." And so she becomes convinced. She's gone. She's come because that was the last straw. She tried to forgive Gary, but Avocado's deception just proves that Gary is a deceiver in her eyes. Avocado's a deceiver. And, he's like saying, and, she says some interesting things, which confirms a lot of things that one, she cares about Little Kato. Probably, I don't want to say more than anybody, but so far he hasn't deceived him. And so far, Gary has participated in the deception by saying that, hey, it's up to you. Avocado's obviously deceived her. Cheryl's not that close enough yet to Little Kato, even though he's trying. Quinn, but, they were his family, but, it's really, Little Kato, Ash that has viewed Little Kato as, almost like an anchor. So she's like, saying that I'm taking Little Kato away from you because you don't deserve, because, you're a deceiver, you're a murderer, all of you. And, Avocado doesn't make the situation worse, saying that if you take him away, I will kill you. And of course, she responds saying, oh, how can you kill? How? When you're already dead. And I thought, oh, that was awesome. That was an awesome one liner. So she throws them out into space, of course. But of course, Lil kind of finds out that, oh, there's a breach in the hull. And, he finds that Gary and Avocado out in space. And he goes, he says, I'm going to help them. But meanwhile, Gary and Avocado, of course, have their helmets on. And so they say that, okay, we got to get there. And she's like, she's going to take little Caro. So they decide to go there. They warn Cheryl and Quinn's like saying, "Hey, Ash has lost it. She's gone over." And so basically, you know, Cheryl has another nice line there. She just hands Quinn another gun, and she's like, "Well, what's this?" And she's like, "No one touches my grandson." And I'm like, "Oh yes, Cheryl has definitely come, definitely come." I'll get to that when I do a character analysis. But Lil Cotto's running to the hallway and he sees Ash and he's like, Ash, my dads are in trouble. We gotta go. And she's like saying, I wouldn't worry about them. It's like all I know is that I'm going to keep you safe, basically. And when she says that, you can really see a lot of the old Ash before her transformation in her face. Like I was like, oh, wow, she really looks like the old Ash. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. I thought that was unique. But it's clear, I don't know whether it looks like her powers obviously are not, you can't see it physically, but you can definitely see like, it's warping your mind a bit. And so, little Kyle is confused, like saying, you're going to take care of me? It's like everybody here is nothing but liars, deceivers, and murderers. All that matters is just you and me because Lil Kato has done nothing, basically. And so he's like saying, "What's going on?" And he says something like, "Ash, I'm only saying this because I care about you, but you know, I think you're losing it, and we gotta go help." And she's like saying that I'm not losing it. He says, and she says, "Have you ever wondered why you don't look like your father?" And Lil Avocado said, "Well, yeah, it's because I look like my mother." It's because Avocado is not your real. It's not your real father. It's like he murdered your parents, which is the king and queen of Mantrexia. And Locato obviously says, "Oh, now this is a lie. You're lying." And technically, he should know that Ash has no reason to lie to him. But he was like saying, but she said that he was going to tell you himself, but she said that he doesn't. But she tells Lil Carter like he doesn't deserve to be in the same place as you, which is why I'm going to take you. And we basically here, but we basically see that Avocado, not Avocado, Quinn and Cheryl bolts in. They're trying to stop Ash, and Ash tells Quinn, I mean, to her face, like saying, "I had thought that you would even be the slightest shade like Nightfall, but I was wrong." And just uses her powers, slams him to the walls, force chokes him, and Lil Kato's just like saying, "What's going on?" And she just said, it's just like it doesn't matter. All I know is that I'm going to. These people don't matter. Say, come with. She asks Little Kato like to come with me, and Little Kato's just getting confused like this, and he's like saying, Ash, like calm down. Four strokes, and she's like, she tells him to take my hand. She tells him take my hand, and Little Kato's like, he's still confused. He's like, I can't. So to make it short, to make it quick, Gary and Avocado waltz right onto the ship. They're trying to run. Quinn calls Gary, and Ash is just saying Invictus is where I should have been all along, and and I want you to come with me. And she tells him like you're the only one who's ever cared about me, because aside from maybe Fox, of course, and I know she means aside from Fox, but yeah, parents decided to sacrifice her. Her sister's dead. Fortunately, she's never recovered from Gary, stabbing her and, stabbing Fox and, Quinn being the reason why, hey, Fox is probably dead, and then Gary, and then Avocado, and then, Cheryl's not close enough. And the amount of death, Ava's no longer there. Like I said, she's the last survivor of the season 2 crew, which was essentially her family. And that's when it dawns a little Kato when she says this, like, you're the only one who cared about me. And, it's like, wait a minute. He killed my parents? And he's starting to almost accept that reality. And she's like saying, yes, come with me. And so she blasts out of space, turns on his helmet, and they go. And he's like saying that, Ash, I can't, I don't want to leave. That's my home. And she's like saying, I've left many homes. You learn to get over it. And, that's that. And so the crew resolves to get him back, of course. So that's the synopsis of that episode with, spoilers, of course. I want to delve into some characters, basically. Gary, of course, we now see that everything that he's done since season 1 comes full circle. Here, it's good to see that. He gets nice time with Quinn, but it's interesting. He has a very good talk with Avocado. It's like saying, hey, man, you're stressed, and I know, but you got to tell him as well. And at the end of the whole episode, he says that, hey, we're all broken. We're all broken. It's just a matter of how much and how far you're willing to go to fix it. And, Avocato's like saying, all the way, baby. That's nice. We also see Avocado, he's like struggling with the ideas like, I'm going to die lying to my son. And of course, sorry, excuse me, it racks him with guilt. He doesn't want to die with that on his conscience. And so we see him wrestle with it. Cheryl was very nice in this episode. We see a lot of maternal instincts. She's really come a long way. I know at the end of season 2, I always felt that her change of heart was premature and wasn't earned. But season 3, the last 6 episodes, last half of the season shows that hey, she's she's definitely earned her redemption. So I'm very happy for that. Um, the gold medals of this episode. Well, before I get into that, Biscuit was very knowledgeable. He added the humor as well. It was very good and whatnot. I liked him, and of course, it's good to see him get shine after, of course, saying 4 episodes being gone. Um, Kevin was brought down a notch, a little bit less Kevin, good in doses, worked. But like I was about to say, the gold medals of this episode go to basically Locato and Ash, Locato, upon from, really interacting with the crew, liking everybody, he had a funny one liner telling Shell that, hey, I was 77. I'm 14, but I'm technically 77. And he's saying that and it still shows that it's a very sore spot for him. But we see that Ash, unfortunately, and it's really no fault of her own, has always been, deceived and lied and all that and everything like that. But we see that everything is just going bad for her. You know, she's tried to forgive Gary, but it's clear that, you know, it's still a point of contention. And she even said, I knew I should have known that after you killed Fox, I shouldn't have been here. And it's clear that Invictus didn't even have to pull anything. Invictus just let events on the crew unfold as they may. And Invictus didn't even force Ash to come to him after that 3 day limit. She's willingly coming to him because the crew, in a sense, has betrayed Ash in some way. And she's seeing that the same thing's about to happen to little Kato, who she cares about greatly, as we see in this episode. Little Kato, despite having his reservations, did not fight Ash on this. Even though he said it's my home, he didn't say I'm going to stay here. He, let Ash take him and go. Maybe people say he didn't really have a choice, but hey, it is what it is. And it's definitely leading up to an interesting finale and how everything will play out. I do believe that little Kato will save Ash, hopefully. But it shows that beyond even Gary and Quinn, little Kato and Ash have always had the more natural chemistry, in my opinion. But I definitely but yeah, that's the end of that episode. I definitely give this a 10 out of 10. It's a great, fantastic penultimate episode. And little spoiler warning: this picture, which has been flowing around as the promo pic for this episode, this never happened in this episode. So what you're now seeing is you're basically seeing a picture of the season finale. But yeah, 10 over 10. So thank y'all for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notifications to make sure you're notified. Once again, I do these videos for you, the people, because I want to discuss Final Space. It's a great show, and I want to get your views on it. Thank y'all for watching, and I hope to have more videos when I can. It's a process, but thank you all. Peace.